trying to show something when someone's talking and the other person's demonstrating.
Yeah.
Bingo, we're recording.
Sweet baby.
Hello. Welcome, everyone. Thanks so much for getting on. Guess what day it is? Tuesday, April 26th. Whoa, that's loud. Tuesday, April 26th, 2016. And guess what we are covering tonight? Promoting Past Certified. This is a huge one, y'all. This is big, huge, because a lot of times you see these people joining your team, or maybe you're even one of them, where you've bought that $99 starter kit, you've sold that 1,000 PRV, and you're like, what in the heck do I need to do to get past certified? Or what can I do to help my team members get past certified? Well, that's what this webinar is for tonight. So in that chat box, guys, use that for questions. We're going to help you hopefully get everything answered tonight that you possibly need answered. So just really quick, I hope you watched the video that Jody was telling you to watch, the secret video, because I just watched it. And here's my favorite part. Are y'all ready? I hope you can hear this.
Full responsibility for your life. Accept where you are and the responsibility that you're going to take yourself where you want to go. Someone said we have two primary choices in life. We can either accept conditions as they exist, or we can take the responsibility to change them. So a lot of people want to accept themselves from taking responsibility. All they want to do is
seriously.
Yeah.
I had goosebumps. And I didn't watch that at all. I didn't even have the link. I didn't know what she was sending me. Y'all, seriously, goosebumps. Take responsibility. And I love that because you know what? I'm taking responsibility of my life today, and my responsibility is to get all of you past certified. That's pretty big. That's a big one, but you know what? We're going to do it, and we're going to do it together, okay?
So Heather, before we get into all of that, I think this is where you wanted me to kind of share that a small glimpse of my personal story.
Yes, please.
A little bit. So for those of you who are on my team, and I mean, some of you don't know this. I don't talk about a lot of things that happened in my past, but it kind of goes along with what Heather was saying and what the video was saying about, you know, you're not necessarily a product of your circumstances. So I don't mean to get all mushy and personal. I know everybody has a personal story. Mine is no better or worse or however you want to look at it than anybody else. It's just what we chose to discuss tonight. So, you know, very quickly, we're going to rewind way before Sensi started. I was like 23, so that's a while ago. We won't tell you how long ago it was, so you guys can't do the math there. But in any event, life kind of sucked. I had a 1 and 2-year-old and a lying, cheating, abusive husband. So we were in the military. I had to make some pretty hard decisions at that age with a 1 and 2-year-old. And I had to move my kids from Washington State back to New York State and start with nothing. I mean, we had lawn furniture. That's what we slept on. That's what we sat on. You know, my daughter and I shared an air mattress. My son had a pack and play. And I was very depressed. I didn't get out of bed. My hair was falling out. I mean, I lost a ton of weight. It was gross. My eyes were all sunk in. Skin would come off. I mean, it was that bad. I was very malnourished. And I just woke up one day, and I know this sounds so cheesy. My kids were in the bathtub playing, and I looked in the mirror for the very first time. And I mean, truly looked in the mirror. And from that moment on, it changed my life. I was not going to let this man ruin my life and control how I felt from 3,000 miles away. I had to be a mom. I had to step up and I had to do what was right. I didn't have a job. I had my car being repossessed and I was being evicted because he stopped paying our rent. So there was a lot I had to do. I had to make a choice. I could either sit back and be like, well, you know, this sucks and there's nothing I can do about it, or I can stand up and I can make a change. And from that day on, everything I have done in my life has been in a forward direction. That doesn't mean that there weren't setbacks, because trust me, there were a lot of setbacks that, you know, I was like, how am I ever going to dig myself out of this? Or, you know, all I wanted to do was sit in the corner and cry. And I didn't know where I would find the strength or the know-how to do and be better. So if you're sitting someplace right now that you don't want to be and you want to move forward, that's up to you. Don't sit there and have a pity party for yourself saying, I'm not good enough. I don't have what it takes. I don't have the money. Whatever you're telling yourself the reason is that you can't do it, you're convincing yourself of that. Once you change your mindset to, I'm going to do this and nothing is going to stop me, and understand there's going to be hurdles and there's going to be roadblocks. You just have to figure out how to overcome them, then nothing is going to stop you. And I believe that. I mean, I've come a long, long way, and I'm going to continue to go. And it's not that I'm not content with my life, because I am. I'm very happy. Great friends, a great business, a husband, everything. But I don't want to become complacent where I'm just standing in stagnant position all the time. I want to further myself and further my kids. So that was kind of my take on that video. And I think that's why it hit me so hard, because I could easily have sat back and, lived off the system, had my kids not have anything, because, I was certainly in a position where I could accept that, but I didn't want that. So you have to look at what you truly want. Once you figure that out and then you put actions behind that, nothing will stop you. So that's my little spiel on that. So
Seriously, very powerful. Jamie, do you want to share your story real quick? We'll just kind of do a real quick story backgrounds of you.
Sure.
I know that's that plan, but I think it's kind of.
Can you hang on? Can you hang on 1 second? My daughter's calling me.
Sure. I'll share
I'm so
it
sorry.
sometime. So a little bit about my story, and then we'll have Jamie share hers. And we're not going to make it long, but I'll tell you what I admire so much about Jody's is that she was about as low could get in her life, where emotionally she was sick and she had to take care of those babies, and so mine is total opposite. There has been devastation in my life. Everybody's got it, right? Everybody's got the story, like Jody was saying. I think at one point, and I'm not going to cry. I don't even want to get into this. I have tissue. Okay. So I'm going to just briefly talk about it, and then I'm going to move on, and Jamie's next, and we're not going to talk about it anymore. I grew up very fast. When I was 15, my brother was 14, and he was at a shooting range and had a stray bullet hit him in the side of the head and shoot and kill him instantly. So it was a stray bullet. So we were 10 months apart. So I grew up very quick, and I had a half sister, but my parents, we were both full brother and sister. So my half sister was older than me. She's already out of the house, moved out, and married. That forced me to grow up really, really quick. So here it goes from me going to college, dropping out. I met my husband, got married. My whole entire adult life, it seemed like, was buying a starter kit after starter kit after starter kit, trying to figure out what direct sales business I could do while I put my husband's career first, as it should be. Moving every 3 years. I got pregnant, had my son at 23. And I tried 12 other direct sales businesses. It didn't work. And here's what finally a light bulb moment happened for me. It was when I don't remember what year it was that I started. Maybe year one, actually. I think it was because I was on a director call, and I had made director in like 7 months. And Orville said on a call one time, dedicate 4 years to your Scentsy business like you are getting a college degree. That doesn't mean, I'm going to post something on the 25th of the month to try to get the last 150 orders in. That's not work in a business like you're going to school. You have to work, sleep, study, and feed your brain of this business like you were getting a college degree, you guys. So I heard him say this. So I pushed. And when I tell you my husband was deployed, I didn't have family around me. The fourplex that I lived in, all 4 of us were Scentsy consultants. We had about 10 of us within a 2-block radius. So there's never too many, or I don't have anyone, or I don't know anyone, because I have lived it. I have done it. I could have been looking back on something and said, you know what? It just wasn't for me. But I gave it everything that I had. And by the 4th anniversary of Scentsy, I had promoted to superstar director. And I promoted in an off time. So when y'all heard me talk about that earlier in the video, the J months are slow. No, the only months that are slow are the ones you decide to be slow. Because I'm going to tell you, I have broke the mold when it comes to promoting and running your business in slow months. Nobody's going to set my pace. I'm going to set my own pace. So I think it's up to you tonight. And I'm really hoping that you guys think of your story. Think of what you have been battling and trying to overcome, and open up about it. And that's what we're going to do tonight, is just kind of open up about it. And we're going to give you specific steps. So Jamie, would you mind sharing your story real quick?
Sure.
Okay.
My daughter just called and said I need to come pick her up. So if I have to leave in a minute, you'll know where I've gone. No, I've got someone who's picking her up. Okay, on. So, sorry, little side note there. In October, it will be 10 years that I've been with Scentsy. And let's see, my baby was 6.5 months old. I was not looking for anything. I wasn't searching. I didn't think I needed anything. I was keeping tons of kids in my house. I don't know how many. And just thought, this is what I'll do to help income in my house, to help supplement so that I can stay home with my kids. And one day, it's kind of like what Jody was saying. You kind of take a look sometimes you kind of assess the situation. And I was like, I am so grouchy by the time all my kids are home, like from school, and all the other kids are gone. I was just tired. I was exhausted. I was grouchy. And I was like, this is not me. This is not me. And Scentsy kind of presented itself to me, and I did not really do much with it the first year. Didn't ever see myself as an entrepreneur or self-motivator. So after the first year and things kind of was going on its own without me really trying anything, I thought, okay, this has to change, because I can't be that grouchy mom taking care of everyone else's kids where I can't even take care of my own. And so I decided I was getting out of that. I had to be the mom that I always wanted to be. And so I became someone, well, I'm still working on improving myself. And because my kids, just like this, I want to be able to go and get them, or go and have lunch with them, or take off time. I want to be able to do that. That's the life that I always had. My mom was always home and at my beck and call, and that's what I wanted. And I barely have a high school graduation diploma. Thank you. Sorry. I've never been to college. I don't have anything else to go with. This is the only thing qualified per se I have. So this has to work. But the good thing is I love it that much that I want this to work. So I don't have 1 hour of college under my belt. There's nothing else for me. And so this has to be for me, and thank goodness it's a good fit. And my kids would tell you right now that if it wasn't for Scentsy, I would be a completely different person. It's made me something I didn't know was there. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that makes sense, but
no, I think it does. And I think with all three of us, and I think the point we're trying to drive home is it wasn't something that somebody said to us. It wasn't something that somebody taught us. It wasn't anything that somebody else did for us. For all three of us, it was ourself.
Self-discovery. A little self-discovery. Things you found within yourself that you didn't even know were there.
Yeah. And so we can do all the trainings in the world, and we love to do them. But, talking to all of the people listening today, it will come down to you, and it will come down to what you want. It doesn't matter how many tools or documents or emails or support or postcards we give you. Your success will only happen if you're willing to go out and get it. And it's not always going to be easy. It's not going to always be pretty. Sometimes people can sit back and they can look at like a superstar director or a CEO or some, great athlete, and they're like, what a great life. But what they're not seeing is the road that it took to get there. It's hard. It can be a lot of no's. It can be you wake up one day and you're like, I don't know what to do anymore, and I'm just going to shut down. We've all had those days, you guys. So you have to really look deep inside and say, what is it that I want to get from this business? Because this business, Heather, Jamie, myself, and you, everyone listening, had the exact same opportunity. We have, our starter kits for the most part are, exactly the same. You guys do get a little more in training and stuff like the 50 bucket. But, and now Macy's all like, what was that? But, the point I'm trying to say is the opportunity for you is the same it is for somebody else. So don't discount yourself because you're letting fear dictate what you're going to do. Success is in your hands, and your definition might be different than Heather's or Jamie's or even mine. But you have to be willing to go out and get it and find out what it is that's going to drive you to let nothing come in your way. So now we can get to the nuts and bolts. Heather, take it away.
All right, guys. So I think this was a huge part of going from essential to certified, because a huge part of it is why you joined this company. And it doesn't have to be all, what's the word? It doesn't have to be depressing of your past. Like, it doesn't have to be what we just talked about. Those were just key moments that I know you guys don't know about any of us, that we wanted to open up to you guys and share. And you being honest and open is going to be the start of you going essential to certified and certified to lead. So here we're going to start off. And I'm just going to read something that Jody typed up real quick. And she said, when you stop trying to sell the opportunity, you end up, what were you saying, Jody? Oh, sharing and showing the love of what you do will always go further than stating facts. I'm reading the wrong thing. So just make sure, I don't know. I'm just reading off the paper. But it's so true, because it comes across when we rattle a whole bunch of crap off to people. When they see your excitement and your passion and your love for your business, it will take you so much further than you having to be, oh, one bar is 8 to 10 hours per cube. That gives you 80 to 90 hours per bar for $5. What? Was that even? I don't even want to buy from you right now because you're annoying me. Like, no, I don't want to hear that. So talk to me, have conversation with me, be nice. So creating ways to share or converse with people. It's about how you share your love about the products. Have a personality about it, okay? You love the products and you believe in the company. You don't have to know all the answers. So here's the magic number. The very key from the get-go, you will never have a problem again as long as you can do one thing. 500 PRV for yourself every single month. That's the first step. So number one, write this down. I need 500 PRV every single month, and I will never go beneath that, ever. So why do we tell you to do that? Well, that's 1 to 2 parties a month, basically. And it could be anything. People buying product. It could be Facebook parties, online parties, home parties, basket parties. It doesn't matter. PRV is PRV. So if you can get 500 a month, you know why we're telling you that? Because when you recruit, in order to make money off of your team and your downline and the generations that you qualify for, you have to have the 500 PRV in every single month. So that sets the standard for you, and you're going to slowly increase it. I'll never, ever forget when they increased it a couple years ago for an incentive trip, and it was the PRV to earn the max points was 2001. So we had to consistently do that for like a 6-month period, right? Or it may have been longer. Was it 6 months, Jamie, I think? Yeah, 6 months. Y'all, that became my new norm. I did it consistently for 6 months without even looking back. So you know what? That's my new norm now every single month. That's my own personal goal, is to get $2,000 in sales every month. Because if I can do it, and I've done it since there's been some months I haven't, but for the majority, I would say 10 or 9 or 10 months out of the year, it's always 2,000 PRV, because I'm trying to earn that annual sales award. I'm driven by personal goals that I can achieve, and the annual sales and mentor award are something that everyone can earn. And that's just something that motivates me to try to earn. So I think we need to mention goals for the month and talk. You have to have the 500. So set your goal and make sure that that's the first thing that you understand, 500 a month. Without that 500, it's not going to matter how big your team is, because you won't be getting paid off of them. So you have to be able to reach that goal of $500. The next thing is consistency. This is key in your business. I don't care what anybody tells you to do. You have to be consistent. That's the number 2 thing. 500 PRV. Number 2 is be consistent. When I was dedicating years to I was getting a college degree, I did not decide to work my business and have hours, which some of you may have to do, but I was hungry for it. When my phone rang, I answered it. If somebody needed to place an order on Sunday, I put it in on Sunday. Now I'm kind of trying to be Sunday as my day off. It depends on how much you want to work it and how far you want to take it.
Heather, I wanted to just say something about that consistent word, if that's okay.
Yes.
And, whatever it is that you're consistent with, you need to, I don't know if I can explain this right. It doesn't always have to be the exact form, like posting every day at the same time, but my directors made a really nice comment to me one day when I was like, oh, I forgot to do this, but they said, but you're always consistently there. If you don't answer us in 20 minutes, we know that eventually you're there. You're consistently being a leader or consistently being a consultant. Like, my customers know if I don't respond within, 24 hours, that's kind of a big deal unless they know I'm out of town or something. So I think as long as you're consistently communicating and consistently being a consultant, that may not be the same pattern every single day or every single month, but as long as they know you're consistently working. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I mean, you have to be consistent in your customers' eyes, in your team's eyes, and in your own business. So, you know, if you're one of those hobbyist consultants, which there's nothing wrong, I'm not knocking them, but if your customers and hostesses know that you're that consultant putting in one order at the end of the month and that's it, and don't call me until the last day of the month, I'm not placing an order until then, eventually you will be replaced. Because consultants like me that are hungry for it, I will take your people. Plain and simple. And it's not going to be me literally or mean, but it's people that are actively working your business. You know how many times I've heard people say, oh, I don't want to go up to my kid's school. I know a teacher sells it. Well, guess what? She's a teacher first and Cincy second. Cincy's first for me. I'm going to promote my business and look for opportunities everywhere. I'm not going to hold back just because I don't want to hurt a consultant's feeling. I'm sorry. It's just I'm here to work my business and I'm here to go forward, not backwards. So keep that in mind too as you're doing it. The hungry consultants are going to, and I don't break rules. I'm a rule follower. Let me just state that. You will never see me break rules. Well, I did put Cincy on a shirt. I have the logo on the sleeve, though. I'm not going to lie. Anyway, that's about it, okay? I've never, ever, ever broken a rule to get where I'm at. I don't sell on eBay. I don't list product publicly. Never. Nothing, okay? So it's very important for you to run your business with honesty and integrity and follow the rules. They're here for a reason to protect all of us, and that's very important too. Your team and who you recruit are going to duplicate what you do.
And it creates trust, and trust is a huge thing.
For sure. And here's another thing is once you start building a team, if you're putting $500 in a month and you're turning around and telling your girls, okay, you need to put your 2,000 in, but you have 500 in, be careful what you're saying. Don't expect your team to be doing more than what you're willing to give. So just be sure you're setting the example properly. Because I always make sure I will continue to recruit, do parties, and get bookings and get sales. Because at any time, if any one of y'all said, can I audit you? Of course y'all can. Here's my stuff. Let me show you with an open book. Because if I'm teaching you anything, you better best bet believe my books better match what I'm saying. I would feel like a horrible person if it didn't. And that's not what I'm about. So consistency, you need it in your bookings. You need it in your sales. You need it in your follow-up. That's huge, you guys, because here's the thing is if you give a sample out to somebody, but you don't have their contact information, what good did that just do you? You're going to wait for them to call you? These are outdated. Keep these in your purse. It's the drawing slips where you can get their information. I only had this because I found it the other day. There's a newer version. So when you give out a sample, say, oh, I have a monthly drawing. Can I get your information? I'll enter it into the drawing. Okay, we are being a little dishonest. Give away a cent circle then. Sometimes I don't give away a prize. Crap. Okay. Ugh. I'm backtracking on doing illegal. Sometimes I don't really draw some things. I just want their info.
Right. I might have done that.
Okay. So everybody's done it. Peer pressure. I couldn't afford to give anything away. I just wanted their info. So keep these. See, if we're not alone, Lindsay does it too. Keep these with you guys. So when you hand out something, get their information. That's how you can follow up. Sharing, being consistent in sharing, making contacts every day, engaging in conversations. Leave your house. Don't rely on Facebook. Wait, listen, I have a stat here. I ran across this piece of paper. Life-changing on this. I'm not going to get into this tonight, but seriously, the statistic was 90% of information transmitted to the brain is visual, and visuals are processed 60,000 times faster in the brain than text. Do you know what that tells me? Stop posting black and white words on Facebook. It doesn't require response. People aren't reading my crap. Why do you think I do those graphic photo grids of, oh, cotton candy cookie, and it's like cotton candy and a cookie coming out of girls' luscious lips that you want to just like, give me a bite of that, because people relate to visual stuff. So same concept of you being in front of people, y'all. You are visually in front of them face to face. Go to the bank instead of going through the drive-through. Walk your happy butt inside. Get extra steps on your Fitbit. Park it and go in. Quit trying to be faster in life and be smarter in life by going the extra step to have some conversations.
I used to never chime in or go work at the PTA or do any of that because it's like Jody was saying in the chat, it's out of my comfort zone. It's not cozy and comfy to me. But I did start going up to the school more, having lunch or volunteering to do things. And let me tell you, when they see your face, they are reminded. Yeah. And if they have to ask me, like, do you still do Scentsy? I'm like, seriously, I have let myself go if they don't know that I'm still wearing, still doing Scentsy. So when I do go up there and have lunch or something, I'm definitely more proactive in that. But every time I put myself out there, I joined the gym and I have my little sample thing set up at the gym. I go up with the kids to the school. It definitely, I've gotten several fundraisers this year by actually opening my mouth at the school. So just throwing that in there.
Well, and not only being more personal, like, in face-to-face contact, banks, schools, things like that. But when you're posting on Facebook, maybe you guys can vouch for this too, but how many people have come to you and said, I want to buy this, or I want to join your team because of this, and their personal pictures that you've shared of incentive trips, or like I took my family to Disney my family and my sister's family, because I was able to save money from Scentsy. Think I didn't share pictures and say, thank you, Scentsy, or using counter cleaner, warmers, and my favorite wax, any of it. The more personal the picture is, and if it's in your home or it's a picture of you and your family enjoying something, the more relatable it is to people. So, while there's some really amazing flyers out there, if that's all you're posting and you're not seeing results, maybe you need to change it up a little bit and be a little bit more personal.
Well, and speaking of personal, it goes the same way with your recruits and you building team. You may be getting recruits all day long, but here's the thing. If you're not helping them reach certified, and what's making them reach certified is the relationship with you. It has nothing to do with you ordering them around to get sales. Come on, you need to do this, you need to do this. Here's the thing. You can tell them till they're blue in the face, you need to do this, but they may not know how. So you have to show them how to do this. And the only way to do that is create a relationship that is with them, not ordering them around or dictating. You need to show them, okay? So just make sure that you're engaged and you're open daily in your business. You don't see any successful businesses that only open when they feel like it. Think about it. Customers need to see that you're serious about your business and that you're there for them. Here comes the next big one. So we've got our 500 PRV, we've got consistency. The third, discipline. Okay? This is discipline. This is a huge one. What do we have here? We got promote. I really want to do this. So a lot of people want to promote. They say, I really want to do this. Consistency. Back to what we were just talking about. Discipline, it's not fun because this is where everybody drops off. When it starts to become the point where, oh crap, I got to be consistent in doing this. People don't want to be consistent because it's not fun. Okay? So this is the part. If you want to overcome and get past where everybody wants to, that little hurdle that makes or break it, it's called being consistent and never stopping. We naturally assume that just because they want to do this business, that they know how to do this business. Just because you know how to do the business, you automatically assume that they know. They don't. And at some point, you did neither. So you just went and did it and you figured it out and you figured out what you needed to do next. You have some people that are like that and some that are not. Here's the big part, Ascent Academy, and maybe some of y'all don't even read that. That is a huge part of success from the get-go. Enroll in it. You have once a month that you can enroll in it after commissions are paid. Make sure you're opted in for Ascent Academy because that gives you very specific answers on how to do it. It gives you ideas of the day, specific tasks that you can do to promote in your business. And Ascent Academy is not a magic bullet. All it is words that are giving you a task to do. But guess what? It's up to you to do it, okay? Anything else on discipline, y'all?
Me. I just wanted to reiterate exactly what you were saying and kind of what we said earlier and what the video was also saying. We're consistently repeating ourselves, so it sinks in. Discipline isn't fun. It's not pretty. But what comes at the end of that? Everything that you wanted, your goals, your dreams, the fun, the trips, being able to take off more time. I mean, so getting there sometimes it's not glamorous, it's not sexy, right? Isn't that what Jason said? It's not sexy necessarily, but it sure is real pretty when you're done and you reach your goals and you get to celebrate by taking your family to Disney or by, you know, just having extra bills paid, whatever it is that you're trying to reach. That's where the glamour comes in. So make sure that if you want it, set yourself up a disciplined, consistent schedule. You're going to work this week. This is, you know, I have to have a list, or I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Make a list of what you're going to do on, you know, Monday and Tuesday, and put the one that you don't want to do the most, the one that's going to take the longest or it's the hardest, is the one that should be at the top of your list, because then you feel so accomplished when you check that little sucker off, and all these other 6 things you got to do today are boop, 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 done. But, and like Heather said, use Ascend Academy because it will give you things to do daily. And if the tools are there and you're not using them, then nothing is going to happen. You have to put tools to use. All right, Heather.
On Ascend Academy, don't do what the table says. I'm going to tell you right now, don't follow that. It's not set up there. It's not set right. All I need you to do is focus on the daily activities. Don't even look at the freaking table. It means nothing. Okay.
And like Jason said, on those daily activities, if it's a daily activity, if I remember right, correct me, what he said was, if those aren't a fit for you, pick 3 to 5 that are, even if it doesn't fall on the exact day that it's posted. Like if Mondays works better for you on Friday, but pick, 3 to 5 that are a good fit for you, still challenge you, to make you get out. And I love that quote where success isn't always sexy. Success is discipline. I love that. That's like, I kind of want that on a shirt.
That would be the cutest shirt ever.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and like Jamie's saying, actionable activities. If you don't like what it's giving you, pick a different one. It doesn't matter. Just do something. But here's the thing. Do what?
Kayla asked a question about what calendar, talking about the daily to-do.
It's on your workstation.
Right? Yes, on your workstation. Like the to-do, what is it called at the top? When you check in, like tip of the day or whatever. And if you go to challenges, is that where it has the whole calendar set out?
Click on challenges.
Okay.
And there's your calendar right there. Yeah, it's right there.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was trying to answer her question.
So disconnect. There's disconnect between what we say our goals are and what our behavior is. So make sure your goals and your behavior are aligned. Because a lot of times we talk a really good game on what our goals are. We have every intention. Yep, I'm going to do that. I'm going to get 7 parties booked. Well, that's funny because I haven't worked one day this week. So make sure your goals and your behavior are aligned and they're equal, okay?
Didn't that guy in the video say, when the person's coming at him with excuses, well, I've tried everything, and he point blank asked him, well, tell me what you've tried. Well, I've done it all. I've tried everything. If you can't answer what you've done to get a party, make a sale, or get a new team member that actually aligns with one of those 3 actions, then you probably need to change it up. I mean, recruiting isn't as hard as people make it out to be when you're sharing the opportunity and not just trying to sell them on the business. Meaning, when you're sharing those images, when you know your product or you know a question that they have, when you're reliable, people see that. And it automatically attracts them to want to either, be a what's the word, customer, reliable, what's the word I'm looking for? Help me.
Loyal?
Thank you. Yeah. A loyal customer, or they want to, host with you because they have you to choose from, or they have this consultant over here, but you're the one who's constantly sharing stories and pictures and helpful tips. And this person posts at the end of the month, like Heather said earlier, I need to make, hit a sales goal. There's 2 different relationships that this one person is seeing. Who would you go with? And that's what it really comes down to. So if you're going to, like Heather said, you want to hit this goal, make sure that what you're doing actually aligns with it. Because if it doesn't, you're not going to reach it. It's just a wish that's flying out there somewhere. So,
well, and those are the people you typically hear from. Maybe you see it's not on my page because it's not happening aloud on my page, no negative stuff, or any of our pages for that matter. But those are usually the ones who cry the loudest, are the ones I've tried everything. Give a one-on-one phone call with me and you call me. If you are seriously that person that has said, I have tried everything, call me.
Heather is speaking the truth. She is an excuse buster like I ain't never seen,
Yep.
y'all.
Here's my cell
And I
phone
just
number,
sounded real country, but it's the truth.
706-495-0981. You can call me anytime when you think you have done it all and there's nothing else to do. I'm going to give you a list of about 50 that you can do.
I've seen it in action, y'all. She is not playing around. There are no excuses.
And I mean this seriously, y'all. If you seriously think you've tried it all, call me. Call me, and we'll figure something out. Okay, so actionable activities such as handing out business cards, y'all. Call 5 past customers and follow up with them. As a leader, your job is to help follow up and with accountability with your team members. What you call them up and say, hey, what activities did you do last week? You as a sponsor should be calling them up and creating that relationship. Hey girl, what'd you do last week? Actively engage in income producing activities. So yeah, it's great that I'm getting my desk all organized right now, shuffling papers, trying to get organization, but that's not an income producing activity. Okay, be smart. Get your income activities out of the way first, and then let's do the other stuff towards the end of the month. So like my personal goal is already reached this month. So the latter part of the month, I can focus on my team, on my group, and on personal things that I need to get done. Front loading your calendar. Okay, so what are your specific questions? Certified, and you're trying to get to lead. I want just start spitting them out to us, and we're going to address them.
I have a question, Heather. I have not read any of the chat, so maybe someone will say this, but I know I've had people who say, why do I want to build a team? Is it too much work? I mean, what's the advantage? Why would I recruit? She's one of my best hostesses. Why would I want to do that?
Heather, are you asking me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought you were going to answer it.
No, I'm just saying, I want to hear what, I want to hear what your answer is, but why? I mean, because some people think it's too hard. Do they think it's worth it?
Jamie,
like,
let me ask you this.
Outside of just building a paycheck, that is obviously what motivates the majority of us, right? Is the money.
Well, yeah. So if you were coming to me asking as a consultant, Jamie, why is the main reason you joined Scentsy?
Because it's fun and I get to get out and I get to make a little bit of money.
Okay, and how much money?
It's better than I ever expected. I've never sold anything in my life.
Okay, and how much did you want to make a month?
Oh, I don't know. I don't have a number really. I just like the little bit of extra money for cushioning to, for whatever.
Would you like to have around 200 or 500 a month? If you had to pick, what would you rather prefer?
Well, 500.
I know, me too, girl. Trust me. So it would make it a lot easier for you. So at your home parties, when you're going, run your business like you normally were. But before you're closing your hostesses, offer the opportunity to them to see if they would like to sign up for $99 and turn these orders under you. And the reason why you want to do this is if you're honestly trying to get $500 in income a month for just extra spending money, and it's important for you to stay home with your kids, you growing and building your team, you get a little leg underneath you and they start recruiting. You start recruiting deep, they start recruiting, and it goes wide. So your little team of 3 can turn into 15 in the matter of 30 days. And that you make money off of all of them. So in the end, you're going to be working less if you choose to be home with your kids. You have the flexibility to say, you know what, let me give this party to my downline. You're still going to be making the commissions off of them. So it's really getting you more time with your kids and commission of what you're trying to earn. And not only that, there's something very powerful about being in a group. And I'm going to tell you, when you're surrounded by a group of girlfriends that just want to get out to do something. I mean, they may not be in Scentsy, Jamie, for what you got into Scentsy for, but everybody's looking for something, whether it's a friend, whether it's a companion, a girl's night out, a hobby, a side cash, a business for tax write-offs, Jamie. Don't decide for them and make the decision for them. At least offer it to them first, and you'll see how easy it becomes when you're not so robot-like, trying to go out there and get recruits, and they're just seeing your passion and your fun and the love. You'll start finding them a lot faster. And believe me, once you get that first one, it's like a notch in your belt. They start coming like flies on poop. Ask Beverly Koenig. She's on here right now. She took her forever to get her first recruit, y'all. After that, recruits started coming in. Beverly, you go ahead and post on that chat and tell these girls how quickly you became so confident in what you were doing and what you were sharing and how those recruits came in. It's like a light bulb goes off and your whole demeanor changes.
It's the same thing with anything. Like, I'm so nervous to do a video or a live on Facebook. The more you do it, the more you get comfortable with it. The more you recruit, the more those conversations become easier. You know, and the more that you recruit and the more they recruit, it also, you know, kind of makes you look for those new customers, new hostesses outside of that.
Well, and it's like, it goes along with the image that I shared a couple weeks ago about commission. And it drives home the point of what Heather just said was, you know, once you build a team, eventually you get to work less and have more time off. So one of the examples we shared was that with the consultant that we used, her PRV, or excuse me, her commission based solely on her PRV was $654. So let's talk about, we'll use Beverly. Let's say that was Beverly's commission because she didn't have a team yet. Well, that's a pretty good paycheck. But now let's fast forward, it's 5 years and Beverly's been building her team and building her team. Now her paycheck is over $10,000 for that month because she has a team. So there is a big difference, you know, obviously pay-wise, but along with the pay raise and things like that comes with the freedom and the flexibility to, I don't want to say you don't work hard because you still have to work hard. We still work our business like certified consultants, but we have a little bit more freedom and flexibility in the time we have to do that, I guess. So hope that makes sense. Okay.
All right, so specific questions, you guys. What do we got? So I would like for someone to comment in the chat, you guys. How many of you are certified on this call right now that is looking to get their first recruit? Okay.
How that'll affect your PRV. I hope you don't mean that if you recruit people in your area, your PRV will go down, or if you're flipping a hostess, because that's, I don't want to say that's the wrong mindset to have, but it will negatively impact your paycheck if you're afraid to recruit. Because I did have somebody that was like that several years ago, and
I think you're losing PRV is what she's asking.
Yeah,
no. I mean, you are, but here's the thing. There's that light bulb moment that we were talking about. Yeah, you're giving that party up to someone or having them join. You're losing PRV. But here's the thing, is if I give you a bucket of water and that's all you have, and I say, just drink it till it's gone, you're dying of thirst. What are you going to go do? You're going to go try to find more water, right? The same concept is going to happen. If you give that 250 PRV away to a new hostess, guess what? You now are building a team. She may have 6 friends that want to join right now, and that just turns your team from 2 to now 8 or 9. I mean, you just never know how it's going to happen, and you'll end up making commission on them as they grow and build. You'll go find the other PRV because you'll never sit back and say, all right, I've got my 500 in. I'm going to stop looking for customers and hostesses. That never happens. The moment you stop building your own personal business, everything else crumbles around you. Because you know what? Your team duplicates what you do. So if you sit back and are doing nothing, they're going to do nothing. So they will be as engaged and duplicate whatever you do. But I promise you, you will always, always find more PRV and more customers. And if you can get consistently how many good customers, like solid customers that reorder from you, you focus on a good handful of repeats with customer service and get them ordering consistently. You nurture those because those are the ones that aren't going anywhere. And that's a solid customer base is strong, very powerful.
Also, I was going to say, don't be afraid to recruit too soon. I mean, like some of the best success stories I see are people that like joined and then the next person joined like really quick and they kind of learn it together. They're like buddies and they grow together. So don't ever think that you don't have enough knowledge. That's why we're all here. Don't be afraid to think, oh, it's too soon. I shouldn't recruit yet. I'm not even it's not too soon. So that's just another little tip out there.
So you don't make commission off your team if you're at the same level either, correct? It's correct. Typically, not every time, but typically, when your downline is promoting, it kind of helps you promote up to the next level. But what you need to focus on and get first is when you get that first recruit, I want you to be sharing constantly and being consistent and handing out join brochures, sharing your story, samples, making new connections until you get 3 frontline. And when you get that first, don't you dare stop. Because here's the game. Susie, crazy, awesome Cincy consultant that's so excited underneath you has got 3 people that want to join. You have the 1. Well, now she can pass you, or you'll be equal if God forbid y'all both make lead at the same time. But here's the thing. Constantly never stop. Get your 3 at the first time, because that's what you constantly need is 3 active frontline as you're promoting up to different levels. So just remember that. 1 frontline, get your 2nd, get your 3rd. Any questions? Okay, there was one that came across. Oh, no, it's not. See, you may have lost PRV, but you gained a team member, which will give you more as you grow bigger. Absolutely. Growing your team is where you're going to make more and go further. Yes. All right, specific tasks. So first thing is 500. How do you get your 500? Jamie, you're muted.
Booking parties.
Party. And I will speak up right here and say I have my home parties have been next to nothing the last few years, but I can also tell you that the last few parties I have done, it has been super duper exciting. It's almost been addicting because we can tell everyone about the body souffle. We can send them samples, but actually being in that party and actually letting them to experience, every single person bought a souffle except for 2, I think. And they didn't even bat an eye. It was exciting to get new product in their hands again, the way it was in the beginning for me. So
yeah, I miss that too.
I do catalog parties all the time. And I also was scared of fundraisers forever. And I finally got past that fear and just educated myself and just started doing them. So that's something else.
So they mentioned home parties, and on the comments, I see fundraisers and bag parties. So if you were on the phone right now, I want y'all to post, how do you get those events? So what are you specifically doing in your routine, or how did you specifically land that fundraiser? What did you say to the person? How did you bring it up in conversation? How did you get this bag party hostess? So Darby, post specifically what you did. What's great, we know what types, but let's break it down and do more specifics. Let's do bite-sized chunks.
Do you want me to tell you mine?
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, I was in a group chat. Okay. My son is a junior. My daughter's in the 8th grade. They're both highly into the end of school activities, prom, all of this. So I was in a group chat with a bunch of moms needing to raise funds for the 8th grade graduation / after party. And they were all talking about this t-shirt fundraiser and this and this and this. And I was like, we can do a Cincy fundraiser and I can simplify it for you if you want. And they were like, great. Can you have the packets ready tomorrow? Yep, sure did. I will get that back at the end of this week. It's not a humongous one. The whole 8th grade didn't do it. Only about, I think 15 participated. But I mean, if I hadn't opened my mouth, none of them would have brought it up. And I've been selling Cincy for 10 years. And so I just thought, why not? I'm going to throw it out there. If they say no, we're interested in something else, I have nothing to lose. And several of the moms said, oh yes, I need to buy some wax anyway. So that's how I got that particular one.
I mean,
And also, sorry.
Nope.
I participated in the PTA little vendor blender thing. They'd never done it before. This was their first year doing it. I said, sure, I'll do it. And I really, honestly, y'all, I went in thinking, this is probably not going to do that well. The elementary school is not located great. It's not central to everything. And I thought, well, I'm going to go ahead and do it. And if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. And it was a huge success. It was great. So don't ever discount an event thinking it won't prove to be worth your time. Okay, I'll let someone else talk now.
I forgot what I was going to say.
So I want y'all to read through the chats. Are y'all reading these? Take a moment to see. We're getting specifics from people on what they did to get the type of event that they got.
Mm-hmm.
And I want you to ask yourself, what is the one thing that they have in common? Or a couple of
Sharing.
things.
Well,
It
I'd
could be
say
more than
sharing.
one. Do what?
They're sharing.
Sharing.
And, you know, this girl said,
Asking.
I'm not being that pushy sales girl. Well, I don't ever think that you have to be pushy. Our product sells itself. And if you're sharing, it's in the way that you're sharing is proper, it attracts people to you automatically.
Yeah, and if you're just being true to who you are, not trying to make the sale, but being genuine about how you're approaching him, then it's not going to be the pushy sales lady.
And do what Beverly's doing. She's doing something nobody's doing. She's sharing Sepsi. Okay? So get on board with Sepsi. Okay? Just teasing. She had a typo. I had to say it. It was too funny. But y'all, it's consistency. It's sharing, leaving your house, communicating, starting conversations with people. Everything we've talked about, there is no magic wand. It's just getting out of your house and doing little things, striking up conversations. If you don't know how to strike up a conversation, the number one thing you can do, look down at their feet and say, those are the cutest shoes I've ever seen. Where did you get those? Boom. Conversation started. You know why I asked her? Because I want her to give me the answer and talk to me. Or say, your little girl is so cute. How old is she? If you compliment people's kids, that's a win-win. You're in every single time. Be the ugliest kid you've ever seen. Gonna be the cutest one you've ever seen. That moment. I mean, I'm not telling you to lie. I kind of am. Anyway.
That's one of the things that my husband said. He said, he said, as long as you've been in this, Jamie, nothing has changed. It's still the same thing. There is no secret recipe. There's no magic quick route to doing this. It's the same thing. You ask, you share. If they say no, really, what have you lost? Are they going to break up with you? Are they going to unfriend you? Well, if they do, they do. But chances are, I'm sure, I haven't looked, tons I'm sure have unfriended me, but they're still my friend. You know what I mean? Right. So really, and they still know I'm consistent and they can call me. So there's no secret recipe. There's no secret route. You just keep doing. You still book parties. You share. Mm-hmm. You give samples. You put yourself out there.
Well, and I think too, speaking of giving back and giving samples, y'all, don't go crazy by giving out your catalogs left and right to people that aren't buying. So here's the perfect example. There's a past consultant that used to be, she was under someone else when I lived in San Diego. She would come out and get help from me all the time. She left, rejoined under someone else in our group, messages me, probably 2 months ago and says, I stopped buying from the certain Cincy consultant. I'm looking for a new rep. So here's the thing. Obviously, she was dissatisfied with, for some reason, who knows. People will hop consultants from consultant to consultant until they find the one that can take care of them, that meets their needs and expectations. Think about it when you go into a restaurant that you go to often, or your hair salon. They know you by name, or water with lemon again and an iced tea. They know exactly. When my son goes into Starbucks, oh, Trace, you want another drink? I can go to any Starbucks I want, but what has me going back to that one is that she knows what my son drinks, and she knows his name. That's what you're trying to give to your customers. I'm missing all the chat. I don't know what's happening.
I'm trying to keep up with the chat while you're talking.
Awesome. I'm done talking.
Beverly's talking about, know your customers. I couldn't agree more.
And also, you were talking about don't give out catalogs to every single person, but the product sheets is a much cheaper route if you're afraid you can't. Like, these are wonderful. Like, love these. So I don't buy near as many catalogs anymore as I do because of these.
No, my business is
just going along with what you said. Sorry, if you want more.
I think that's great. That's all I hand out now, Jamie. It's a gift.
And these are easier to mail out too. I fold this bad boy, put a thank you note, enjoy this, whatever, put a sample, boom. So much cheaper than the full catalog, unless they have requested. Sorry,
Absolutely.
side note.
Yeah, if they request a catalog, I absolutely will send one. But here's the thing: I'll be more likely to give out a washer whiff sample with a product list sheet before I'm going to do out a catalog. Because if it's going to be weight, I want something in their hands that they can try and fall in love with.
Someone was talking about a
Absolutely.
full book fundraiser, so I'm just going to answer that really quick. I don't do full book fundraisers for one simple reason. They cost more than the showcase brochure. Nothing is different other than the combo packs are removed. When you're doing a fundraiser, you want to try to earn as much, I was sidetracked. You want to earn as much for the organization as possible. So if you're offering multi-packs, you get 6 bars for $25. Well, in showcase, it's 6 for $30 because they're $5 each. They're not combined. So that's why I do it. It's cheaper, it's easier, it's less material, and I'm making more money for the organization. So that's my take on that. And I was trying to find a picture that I took this weekend of, because Beverly was talking about, knowing your customers. And absolutely right. You do need to know and follow up with your customers. But if you're meeting them at events, sometimes you're just meeting them for the first time. You're not really getting a good, glance at them. So what I do is I write on my order forms, and I must have deleted the photo. I write on the order
I know
form.
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. And I
Sorry.
write a little note, like we met this couple this weekend, and this is just one example. They were just the friendliest people ever, and I've got their name and their email so I can add them to my list. And I wrote that they played bingo and that they were from Syracuse and one other note, because when I go to follow up with them, probably like Wednesday or Thursday, give them a few days to try their product, I want to say, hey, when are you guys heading up to play bingo again? Just something that reminds me of the conversation, because it makes it more personal. And then if when I talk to them, if they tell me their favorite scent that they bought that day was Brayburn, I'll jot that down just because I can keep track of, like, if Brayburn's being retired, I can let them know that. So it is very good. We talked a lot about consistency and sharing and stuff, but I don't think we touched a lot about on follow up and taking care of your customers, because I think we hit on that quite a lot, but it is very important part of your business. And you never know when that recruit that you've been selling to for the last 7 years will want to, hey, I'm going to join today. People are watching.
Yeah, I've got a great little thing. I had a lady just 2 weeks ago that I did an event. She bought a Rockin' Ruby Raz scent pack. She got my information. I got her information. And then she texted me the next week and said, hey, I'd like to order 3 more. I'm in Gilmer twice a week. Could we meet? Blah, blah, blah. Met her, gave her her order. And the funny thing is, I put some samples in there, but I didn't put an possibility pack. I don't know why. I guess I was maybe in a hurry. Well, she texted me yesterday and said, I would love to have some more information on joining. Is there any way that I could get some information or a time we could set up? I mean, I had made notes on her thing about her liking that scent, that she ordered scent pack, that her daughter went to dance at a certain place at a certain time on certain days. So when she contacted me, I was able to already kind of have like a little filtered, file in my head of already kind of who she is and what she's doing and how active she is with her kids. And so anyway, just kind of talking about the little notes and stuff that you put on events or order forms or whatever. And you never know, like Jody said, when a one-time customer, a first-time customer that bought maybe one scent pack will turn into a possible recruit. And I already got her possibility pack, just in case anyone was wondering. I did get that to her because I already have those made up thanks to Heather Gorsuch.
Hey, that's a good point, Jamie. Actually, to have your possibility packets made up in advance. And so,
Debbie, I'll answer that in 1 second, honey.
So in possibility packets, here's one.
Yeah, I'll be off in a
So
minute.
I use the envelopes from Walmart, the social envelopes, and y'all probably seen this on the team page already. I just run it straight through the printer, okay? And then inside is a catalog, your how to become a Scentsy consultant brochure, the top 10 reasons to join Scentsy, a business card, a scent sample, and the little trifold that I make on why choose Scentsy fragrance with my thing. These are super easy to make, by the way, but that's in my possibility packet. You have to have these made in advance, y'all, and where you have them just to hand out to people. If you don't, you have seriously maybe 10 seconds with people to make or break and create an impression on them. And I doubt the Scentsy opportunity is going to be in the first 10 seconds. So give them something to hold on to and look at when they get home. Okay. It's huge, huge part.
Kind of off your topic, I was going to answer somebody's question real quick because I know it's about 9 o'clock and we need to get going. She asked, is there Scentsy etiquette about selling to other consultants' customers? Should you ask if you already have a consultant? And here's my answer to that. The only time I ask if they have a consultant is at events, because people will see Scentsy, whether they have a regular consultant or not sometimes, and they'll ask, or they'll come up and they'll start buying. Well, I want people in my contact list. That's one of the reasons why I do events. I will never take somebody's information if they have a consultant. They will leave with my information on my product because nothing leaves my hand without my information. And that's because if they have a problem, or maybe the consultant that they bought from 3 months ago and they find out is no longer a consultant. So that's another reason why I always label my product. Just because they have a consultant now doesn't mean that they will in 4 months. I'm not going anywhere. But I am not taking anybody's customers. I will never, if a customer comes to me and says that they're dissatisfied with a consultant, of course I'm going to take care of them. And I've had that happen plenty of times.
Me too.
They've come to me with, I gave her my money, I don't have any product.
Yep.
Well, I've got to take care of it one way or another. I've got to contact Scentsy and I'm going to give her her product. Because while we all own our own business, Scentsy is one name. So if this consultant is giving Scentsy a bad name, it's up to us to change that. And the only way to do that is
extension of the corporate office.
What's that?
I always say we're like an extension of the corporate office, like they can't all be out in the field. We are a reflection of what Scentsy is.
Yeah, exactly. And so, no, I don't ever step on people's toes and, have I gotten, customers who come to me to do a party and then I find out they were actually somebody else's customers. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about that. I feel bad and I let them know, hey, you need to go, back to your consultant. But the only time I really ask is at events because I know hundreds of people are going to be coming in.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I'll say when that happens, Jody. Like if someone's in my booth and they say, oh, my grandma's cousin's aunt's uncle's niece sells it, I could never do that. I said, well, I so appreciate my loyal customers. I would never want to take you from your consultant. I said, because I know as a consultant, I'm very appreciative. And they're always like, oh, wow. I'm like, yeah, I would never try to steal you from.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so appreciative of my loyal customers. So I'm sure she appreciates you.
Yeah. And I'll have people
like
come
in.
in.
Nothing leaves my booth without their information, my information on it.
But, and there'll be times where customers will come in because they want to see the new stuff, and I know because they've told me that they have a consultant, I'm still going to answer their questions. Mm-hmm. I'm still going to be there for them. And I also tell them how awesome it is that they're loyal to their consultant, because I think that they need to understand what it means to us when they're loyal to us, and when you can give them a compliment like that, they're like, oh, I guess it really does matter, because not everybody thinks that it does, and it really does. So I always let my customers know, thank you for being loyal to me. So,
well, and I'll close up with this one just on part of the other flip side of this. And this didn't happen to Scentsy Consultants. It was the girl with the skincare line with the booth next to me at the last event that I did. And all of you know skincare, maybe not all of you don't know. In my personal opinion, this is not a statistic. Skincare and weight loss are the two most difficult things to sell, because you're selling a lifestyle change and you're trying to get someone to change their regimen that they've used forever. And it's really hard to get someone to change that, especially on $200 worth of product, which whatever. So here's what I witnessed. People coming up, 4 different people came up and bought an eye cream or a product or a soap or whatever it was from this girl, and straight up said, my best friend or relative sells it, but the reason why I'm buying it from you and not them is because they keep trying to get me to sell this. So I sat here and I watched this, and I've witnessed this of this specific company. I've seen it a lot. I've seen it with every company. It's not just this one. But when you come across so pushy, as in, you've got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this, instead of worrying about just the need of the product, and you're constantly shoving it down their throat, people run from that. And she sold a lot of product that day from people that should have been buying from family members and best friends. So keep that in mind. Why are they coming back to buy from you? If you're demonstrating in your business how you want to be treated when you go somewhere, or how you're treating your team members when they join underneath you and you're mentoring them and getting them past certified and showing them the ways and creating that relationship, your consistency, your leadership, your commitment to your business and your team, it will get you further. And people will see a Scentsy spirit about this company, what makes it so different than all these other companies. Because I'm going to tell you what's different. Our compensation plan, number one, there is no other company set up to where it is $1,000 and you're already promoting and earning a 5% pay raise. You need zero money to sign up of extra inventory. Let me tell you, it's not going to cost me no $300, $500 to buy in a company. And you're not going to require me to spend $2,000 a month buying inventory I need on hand. If any of your upline now are telling you that you need to have inventory on hand, no, you don't. I didn't have an inventory when I started out. The reason why I had so much inventory out in San Diego, I decided I'm going to do a home and garden show. And this is when we expedited products. So you had to order $2,000 worth of product and pay $800 and something to expedite it. So I get on the phone as a military spouse, call my mom and say, can I borrow $3,000? I've got offer to do this venue, $900 booth, and I need $2,000 worth of product. Can you front me a loan? I buy it. Guess what? I sold maybe $800 worth of product. Never again would I ever invest that kind of money when there's not a guaranteed outcome. Be smart. Start making money before you're spending it. Listen, I'm in Houston. That Capel Shipping Center is 4 hours away from me. If these people can't wait and get used to the shipping times of 10 business days to leave their hand, which it always comes faster, then they can go to Walmart and buy 7 of their bars to R1 because they're not going to think it's a big deal if I'm going to portray it not to be a big deal. So you're setting the tone for all of your customers and what their expectations are. So keep that in mind as you're selling, you're hosting, you're getting people to join your team. Watch to see what you're doing and what kind of vibe you're sending out.
All right. I've got to jump off because I've got one of my consultants here to drop off money from the event.
All right.
So
Good night,
bye,
everybody. Let me stop the recording. I don't know how to stop the recording. Oh, I see it. Okay.